Hey there, everybody. Here I am, Carol Sanic. Carol Sanic, unscripted, and a lot of other words, I know. Long title. And I'm here on my Tuesday morning podcast to share with you something that happened to me recently that is more of an awkward moment. Well, that should get some attention. You know, I've tried the online dating scene over the years. People who know me know this. And they also know it's never gone well. I've collected a list of characters that could fill a small book. Men who lied about their age. Men who lied about their height. Men who lied about their lives. And a few who were simply, unsettling, like the dude that brought the syringe on our first date, laid it on the table, and looked at me as if I was supposed to know what it was, other than I was thinking illegal drugs. Oh no. He told me it was so we could have some fun later. All right, moving on from that. He was gone. I got an Uber home. After a while, I realized I wasn't meeting anyone I really wanted to spend time with. So I thought maybe the problem isn't me. Maybe the problem is the format. Maybe meeting people in person at a dinner, in a group, out in the world will be better, cleaner, more human. So I joined a group. I took myself out to dinner. I walked in open, curious, ready to meet a few new people and enjoy a night out. I sat down, introduced myself, took a sip of water, and before the bread even hit the table, the man next to me said, "Oh, I'm bleeding again." I looked over, and sure enough, his arm was bleeding. And he was dabbing at it with a cloth napkin while simultaneously dabbing my jacket sleeve because that's where his blood had ended up. Then he said, with the casual tone of someone commenting on the weather, "I just start bleeding all the time." And here's the part that matters. This man is a retired medic and firefighter, a retired fireman, a retired medic, someone trained in blood-borne pathogens, exposure protocols. Well, how about basic responsibility? This wasn't a clueless moment. This was someone who knows better and still treated his own bleeding like a quirky personality trait. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there thinking, "Sir, this is not a fun fact. This is a biohazard." Oh, but it gets better. Oh, it always does. Instead of apologizing or excusing himself or acknowledging that he just bled on a stranger's clothing, he turned to the rest of the table and said, "She stabbed me with a fork." A fork! A fork that I had never touched, that I had never picked up, that I never even looked at. And everyone laughed, because it's easier to laugh than to deal with the reality that a grown man, a trained medic, is actively bleeding at dinner and blaming the nearest woman for it. And in that moment, I realized something important. People will rewrite reality in real time if it keeps them comfortable. He didn't want to deal with the fact he was bleeding. They didn't want to deal with the fact that it was inappropriate. So suddenly, I was the one with the imaginary fork. The organizer reached out afterward. He apologized sincerely and asked if I wanted to continue my membership. And I appreciated that, but once was enough. This wasn't for me. I tried. I really did. And once again, I learned the same lesson I always learn. Rosie is much better company. Rosie doesn't bleed on me. Rosie doesn't rewrite reality. Rosie doesn't turn a dinner table into a performance. She's steady. She's sane. She's regulated. She's mine. So no, I didn't stab anyone with a fork. I just showed up for dinner. And apparently that was enough to know exactly where I belong and where I don't. There you go. I know. In my life of unbelievable happenings, I will just chalk this up as one more. Now, thank you all so much for listening. And I'll leave you now. That's a wrap.